It would be wonderful. A dream would be that no country would have nukes. But if countries are going to have nukes, we're going to be at the top of the pack.
Joining me now is the author of Nuclear Nightmares, Securing the World Before It Is Too Late, Joseph Cirincione. He is the president of the Ploughshares Fund. It is a global foundation committed to reducing nuclear weapons worldwide. So, Joseph, you hear this, and what is your reaction to Donald Trump saying this?
Well, many Americans have questions about the president's temperament, even his mental stability. And nowhere are these concerns more serious than when it comes to the issue of nuclear weapons, and it includes concerns in other countries as well. The president has unique authorities on nuclear weapons. Only he can authorize the launch of a nuclear weapon, and once he gives the order, no one can stop him. So when he makes statements like this, it raises real concerns about whether he understands the power that he has, the number of weapons that we have. He seems to want to disregard a treaty that we have with Russia that limits each country's weapons to equal amounts. When the Russians hear that he wants to be top of the pack, whatever that means, they think he might want to start a new arms race. The Russians are perfectly willing to race. We just finished a Cold War where we were characterized by the fear and tensions of a nuclear arms race. He doesn't seem to understand that the entire U.S. military leadership embraces this treaty. They like the inspections, the predictability, the limits that he gives. Robert Gates was our Secretary of Defense when the Senate considered this treaty. He said it was vital to our national security. So it's all these kinds of concerns that worry people.
Do you think he could choose to renegotiate the New START treaty?
He could choose to supplement it. In fact, it's fairly easy for him to do. We understand in the phone call with Vladimir Putin that he had, Vladimir Putin even suggested extending the treaty, keeping it going. The two sides could agree to lower the limits, bring it down to by 1/3 the nuclear weapons they have. If you did that, that would greatly ease foreign concerns and American concerns. That would bring greater stability. And remember, when we talk about limits, that's a relative term. Both countries still would have enough weapons to destroy the planet several times over.
Well, and so to that point, because he said that to Reuters that the U.S. has fallen behind on nuclear weapons capacity. What is he referring to?
That's what has people puzzled. There's not a general in this country that would trade our nuclear capacity for that of another country. It's only the U.S. and Russia that have weapons that we number in the thousands. The other 7 countries that have nuclear weapons only have a few dozen.
The U.S. has 6,800, is that right? Russia has 7,000?
If you look at the total arsenals, we both have about 7,000. Day to day, it goes up and down. Year to year, one might have 100 more. But at those levels, a few hundred don't matter. You still have more than enough weapons.
So you have no idea what he's talking about when he says the U.S. has fallen behind on nuclear weapons capacity?
He seems to be listening to some far-right conservative advisors like those at the Heritage Foundation or John Bolton, who he's considered for a senior position, who argue that we should pull out of these treaties, that we'd be better off with an arms race, who argue that we need to spend even more money for a new generation of nuclear weapons. We're already on the hook for spending $400 billion on nuclear weapons over the next 10 years, but some people want more. That appears to be the people that the president is listening to, not the military leadership of this country.
This is at its very heart what Ploughshares is against. Obviously, you bring a perspective to this, but what is your fear if he is to make good on this? What do you think could happen?
My fear is that he will squander this opportunity. Republican presidents have been the ones who have cut weapons the most. Ronald Reagan, H.W. Bush, W. Bush, all of them have cut the U.S. arsenal in half. Why? Because they have the confidence of the Republican Party, and the Democrats will back them. When a Democrat proposes the same thing, the Republicans attack them for being weak on defense. So Donald Trump has an opportunity here to reduce nuclear dangers, to stabilize it. My fear is that he'll get carried away with this kind of nuclear brinksmanship and think he can gain some kind of advantage by racing. That increases the risk of an unauthorized, an accidental, an unintended nuclear launch, or some kind of miscalculation with Russia, with China, with North Korea that could lead to a nuclear exchange.
Joseph Cirincione